Jamey, why don't you start us with an opening statement on heading to Jacksonville, Alabama on Friday night?
Okay. Thanks for being here, fellows. Appreciate that. We have a great opportunity and a great challenge in front of us going to play the number one team in the country here in FCS. They have a great team. They deserve the number one ranking. But we feel confident about where our team is and the preparation that we've had going, this in the short amount of time that we've been getting ready for them, that we can feel go down there and win the game. And we're looking forward to the trip. We feel like that we've just got a great mentality that we've sort of survived some ugly games, and that's part of it being the playoffs. You just got to try to find a way to win. And this team's got great confidence, and we're looking forward to going down and representing the Big South and representing Charleston Southern and playing on national television, ESPN2. That's a big deal for us and our program, and I know our players are excited about that.
Where are you looking like injury-wise, and what are you looking like quarterback-wise?
Injury-wise, non-quarterbacks, I think we should be healthy going in. We got a couple guys banged up, but should have plenty of time to get ready. Quarterback's a different situation right now. They're both listed as doubtful going forward. The Friday games will hurt us maybe a little bit in our recovery there. We were hoping to play on Saturday, but they're working hard. Our athletic trainers are working hard to try to get them back, and we'll see what happens. If we're playing here tomorrow, Danny'd be the guy, and then we'll figure out who number 2 is going to be.
Talk about Jacksonville State, just kind of the challenges they posed offensively. We saw how they played Auburn so well earlier in the season.
Well, they've got a great quarterback that is very dynamic. He can really run, but he's a good enough passer, and they've got good skill around him. And so it's going to be a big challenge for our defense because I think what they're going to be good at is they have so much more speed than what we saw last week. And so can our defense adjust to that speed and then the different scheme, because you have to play such a different scheme versus our opponent last week that we have to try a short week to try to get back to do some normal stuff. And then on the flip side, they've got 3 SEC transfers up front on their defensive line, best defensive line that we've seen probably since Alabama. And so how are we able to control them and give ourselves a chance to run the ball and then hopefully try to make some plays in the passing game. So they're good in a lot of positions.
How much pressure, if Danny has to be the guy, and obviously just his arm can't do what it used to do a couple years ago, will that put on your offensive line? Because it's going to come down to the running game. Jacksonville State's going to know it. Is it just one of those things where you tell your offensive line, you have to play your game of the year?
Well, I'm not going to tell them they have to play the game of the year. You just say go play the way you're capable of. I think that's more the mindset. They have to play good each game for us to have a chance to make some plays. But if we go into that situation, and we have to go with Danny, we'll find a way to get him comfortable and make some plays that he can make in the throwing game, and do maybe some different things in the running game to give us a chance. And so we'll sort of see how it goes once we get to Friday. But whoever's under center, our guys will have confidence, and we'll find a way to move the ball and score enough points.
How special of a moment is this for Danny? I mean, this is a guy who comes in, he wins the state championship at Bishop England, he leads you to victory at Appalachian State, and then the string of injuries just keeps going to now have this shot to end his career like this. I mean, what kind of a moment is this for Danny?
Well, I'm probably going to say it's probably a little bittersweet because he's obviously thankful for getting one last shot, but anytime that you're not, you're maybe a shell of what you were, I think you're probably in your mind, or man, what if I was really healthy? How would it have turned out? But the thing with Danny, and I think these guys would tell you, whenever he's been asked to do something, he's always been ready, and everybody's know he's been banged up, but he's had such a great attitude, and he deserved last week. This team deserved that moment, but him personally, for what he's committed to the program and committed himself, he deserved to have the opportunity to sort of lead us to a win versus his hometown school. So happy for him, and his number's called. He'll go find a way to get it done again.
If he does play, how nice to have a third-string quarterback who has played at the Rock and Boone and who has played in a state championship rather than a third-string quarterback who has never played, in a situation like pressure.
Right. Well, that's definitely a luxury. He's most people forget. He was the freshman of the year in 2013 in the league. So, and he's played in a lot of big games, and so that's why last week wasn't when he went in. We obviously knew the challenges that we faced play-wise, but there wasn't going to be a challenge with him thinking the moment's too big or having any pressure. He handles all those things. So if he's in there Friday and the moment won't be too big for him because he's been in situations and he'll be obviously a lot more ready for his opportunity than he was last week because these guys will probably tell you, I don't know if he's had meaningful reps in about 6 weeks. So that's probably the first time he's thrown a football in 6 weeks was Saturday.
Is Austin going through the mental preparation? I mean, is he able to do that? And I mean, if he were cleared Thursday afternoon by the doctors, would he be able to play? But knowing what you want to do offensively, I mean, is he going to be going through that reps, or is it getting kind of close now to where there's no way he's going to play?
I think today will probably be would probably be the cutoff as far as determining if they have a chance to play or not. They got to go through the all the things that they do to try to have that opportunity. And if they got cleared Thursday, we could definitely travel him. But if he's not got any reps all week, how would he play in the game? Would it be more harmful than it is helpful? So we have to make that decision as a staff, and we're going to see how today goes. If we get one back, if we get both back, if we don't, and try to. We sort of got 2 game plans right now, and we're going to figure out how much we need to work on once we figure out what happens today.
Without giving away secrets, is there going to be special packages maybe for some Wildcat stuff? I mean, you have a lot of backs and.
There's all things are on the table. All things are on the table right now.
Okay.
So.
Aaron, for your defense and the way it had to play on Saturday, I know you expect to play that way every week, but knowing what your offense may or may not be able to do that it did earlier in the regular season, is there an extra level of pressure on you guys, an understanding of what is expected out of you when you guys play on Friday night?
No, sir. I don't think there's any extra pressure because the coaching staff has always instilled in us that control the controllables. We got to control what we can control on the defensive side of the ball, and we trust that the offense can get it done on the offensive side of the ball. So no extra pressure at all.
It seems like you're always you kind of embrace the underdog role, and you have it again. They're the #1 team in the country. Do you kind of play with that chip on your shoulder a little bit going down there, knowing that this is going to be a huge upset if you pull this thing off tomorrow or Friday?
Yes, definitely we have a little chip on our shoulder about them being the #1 team in the country, but we think honestly in our locker room, we think that we are good enough to be the #1 team in the country, and plus we've already beat a #1 team in the country, so we just have that chip on our shoulder, that respect chip, as always.
With the exception of the 2 FBS games, your defense is really dominator. I guess swarmed, in all of the FCS wins. But how do you think they'll really be challenged on Friday night?
Jacksonville State has a lot of good athletes. I will say that, but I think we'll face the same challenges that we've always faced, that we faced every week. And I think that the way our defense plays and with the intensity that we play, that we will match up really well against them and have another great performance.
Does it help that you guys have that big game experience? Yeah, this is your first ever trip to the playoffs, but the fact that you had those big games you played in 2013. You had one that you won, and then the 2 at the end that you lost. This year, you guys have won all your big games. So do you feel like this is, even though it's new territory for the program, you guys are big game tested?
I think that we are big game tested because of the older guys on the team like Nathan and I, and just we keep the team grounded. I think that's the main thing, keeping the team grounded, keeping the team focused on our goals. And Coach Chadwell helps us a lot about that, just focusing on what we need to focus on and not focusing on all the extra stuff.
Nathan, playing on national TV, is the team a little more juiced up about that? Do you think about that at all or acknowledge it, or is it just another game?
I mean, leading up to it, it's awesome. You get to tell everybody that family, friends, that, if you can't make the game, tune into ESPN2, and you can watch this on live TV. But, I mean, it's like every other game. Once the first kickoff happens, you're just in the battle.
I mean, in that jest, I mean, how important? Obviously, it was what it was. But going down to Bryant-Denny and playing at Alabama in front of 100,000 people, how much does that kind of prepare you a little? Obviously, last week was 10,000. That was 100,000. How much does it kind of prepare you for a big time situation?
Definitely. I mean, it's major difference is noise. We went down there and we can't hear a snap count. Just a funny thing. Like, we're in warm-ups and I'm the holder, so we're trying to go on my set, and they couldn't hear me. So, I mean, it's just little adjustments that we can make, just snap counts and things like that. But other than that, I mean, it's just a great environment and that we enjoy playing in.
Do you think that as receivers, I mean, it's a tough situation going into this week. Where you guys were at during the regular season, what you're able to do, you may not be able to do all of it. as receivers, how hard is that? I mean, I know you don't want to change things, but I mean, there's going to be some different things if Danny's the quarterback. How hard is that to get ready for a national quarterfinal game when you know some things might be different than where they were in the regular season?
I mean, it's definitely going to be different, but the thing that I love about our receiving core, we talk about it every day, we're a bunch of selfless guys. We can go out there, if we have to block 99 out of 100 times, we're all bought in and we're going to do it. So, but when the time comes and then we do get to throw the ball and we need to make a play, we will. So.
And I guess also what I asked Aaron about the big game experience, that even though this is new territory for the program, it seems like you guys are prepared, A, with a lot of veteran guys on this team, but also the big game experience you already have. And I guess, do you plan on kind of using these experiences that you guys have been through to help you with this massive test on Friday?
Definitely. It's, I think, as hard as the last couple of years were for our team, losing the close ones and the big ones that we needed to win, has helped us this year greatly, because it reminds us every day of how close we were, and this year we were able to come through with every game that we needed to win. So moving on to this next one is just another one of those big games, and I think we'll be ready.
Jamey, I know Danny Krogan is not Cardell Jones, but how much do you ever bring up the fact that look what Ohio State did last year with a third-string quarterback, leading them in the national title? Do you use those kind of things as motivation, or is it so different from what this is that you can't even do it?
We've not referenced anything like that. I don't mention anybody from the north. I'm just kidding. But we have confidence in Danny, and I think the team has confidence in Danny. And Danny knows what his limitations are. I think our team does, but he also knows what his strengths are. And the coaching staff knows what his strengths are. And so we're going to try to put him in those situations because he can do some things that will help us win football games. He did last week. Stats probably not going to show it, but you can see how he managed the clock and did certain things to help us find a way to win. And so he's the guy. We'll find a way to win. I believe that he'll find a way to win. These guys will find a way to make it happen. It might not be the way we've normally done it, but guys have confidence in him. So and he's got confidence in himself. And I don't know if we need any extra added to tell him, hey, this is what happened. Our guys feel good about where we're at, and if that's who we roll with, that's who we roll with.
Is it kind of an advantage that Jacksonville State has very limited tape? They have to go back years to see what he played like.
Well, I don't know. After watching last week, they might not be worried about it. They might, hey, guys, don't worry about it. But if you're worried about, or they're probably trying to think, okay, whatever quarterback plays, you might do something a little different here or there. But our schemes are scheme, so it's not going to change. Some things might change, but we're still going to try to find ways to do what we do. And we might just do less of certain things. And so I don't know if it's that hard for them or not. They might just say, hey, we just got to stop this, and we'll be fine. And that's the challenge we have. We got to know they're going to try to stop this. We got to find something they can't. And but if it does, it does. I don't think they're probably too worried about it.
Looking big picture, how is this going to help this program in terms of recruiting? Your guys are out there talking to the high school coaches. You're going to be on ESPN2. You're in the second round of play. All that matters. How much advantage are you guys taking of this in the recruiting world when you look big picture trying to build the program? You've never had this opportunity before.
Mm-hmm.
You've always been saying, hey, we're going to be pretty good. Now you can show kids that you are pretty good.
Well, obviously notoriety, and most coaches right now that are sitting at home, they're out on the road recruiting. So you can, they're doing home visits and some of those things, and you're not able to do that right now because of preparation. But you can say, hey, while that guy's at your house, we're playing Friday night. So, check us out. So I think there's a lot of things that can benefit us there and help us. And what it'll do, it just gets more people to learn about Charleston Southern. Maybe it doesn't. But the thing, I think that what we've realized as a staff, we got to have the right people here and the right fit. So that just because somebody sees us on national television, I want to play for them because their uniforms are, they might not be the right person for us. We need guys that like these individuals that have bought into what we're about, what the school's about, and so it'll broaden our recruiting territory. More people know about us, but it still comes back down to, are they the right people for Charleston Southern?
Especially in the Citadel games and speaking all year long, you do kind of relish that underdog role.
Mm-hmm.
You like that underdog role. Is it hard to preach that underdog role to your team now that you just keep winning the FCS games? Is it hard to still use that as motivation because you don't go into games as underdogs as much anymore?
I don't know. Sort of, and they can answer probably better than me. I sort of feel like we're always going in as an underdog. And I don't know if it's because of just the mentality or just because maybe not just a lack of respect nationally or what, the way they do certain things. I thought us getting put in a pod with Coastal Carolina and the South Carolina schools, I thought that was a lack of respect personally, just the way that people look at it. So I try to find a way, they'll tell you, to find something to keep that chip going. But if you're talented, which we are, and you have that mentality, I think it allows you to play above your head and play maybe above your talent level. And so there's no doubt we're obviously the underdog going into this just because of seeding and different things. But I hope no matter how many championships we've won or no matter how many playoff bids we've had, I hope we always keep that mentality, because as soon as we don't, you can go back 2 years and when we've not had it and get beat by somebody that we shouldn't have because we sort of felt like we had arrived, and we remind them of that constantly. And so y'all got a better answer than that?